Greetings, viewers, or rather, should I say listeners. This is a commentary track for Terminator 2 Judgment Day, meant to be played alongside your viewing of the film on Netflix, recently re-added for its 30th anniversary. I think that if you listen carefully, you watch the movie along with this, I can convince you, by the time this is over, that Terminator 2 Judgment Day is the greatest movie that will ever be made. My name's Von Fry. I'm something of a connoisseur on the film. I've talked with people who've worked on it, and I'm going to share with you some inside information, make some quips and jabs here and there, and just kind of hang out and chill. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, comment, even if you hate the video, whatever. Just all the little interactions keep the party going. Nobody else on YouTube offers this kind of experience without hiding it behind a paywall. So we're going to watch this on Netflix, and you know what? I'm going to eat some popcorn. It's going to be part of the challenge here. Give you a little bit of that ASMR experience. I want you guys also to check out my buddies at Nork Flatware, nork.net. Use my promo code FRY45 to save 45% on the finest knives, stabbing weapons in all of the verse. Yeah, you got to check this stuff out. They don't pay me. They're just friends of the show. Let's go ahead and queue up to 0000 and hit play now. Oh yes, we are doing this, guys. It's happening. Oh my god. Terminator 2 Judgment Day has returned to Netflix. Rated R, strong, sci-fi action and violence, and for language. Possibility this movie would get a PG-13 if released today. You have some use of the F word. The violence is slightly nerfed compared to the hard R over-the-top stylings. Carlico. I probably have never pronounced that correctly. I have a poster of this film signed by producer Mario Kaiser. And yeah, their whole scheme for kind of working as a mid-major was to put huge money into a film and be able to pre-sell it. I really like everything about this movie. It's, I believe, across the board. If you're looking at the story, the effects, the ingenuity, performances, across the board, what is better than Terminator 2 Judgment Day? And the effects pull every trick in the book, and it just looks so good. Also, I got to call out that asshat Jay Bauman over at Red Letter Media. Get this out of the way quick. Los Angeles 2029 AD, right? Like that font, you saw that in the original film. Jay Bauman, they had like a Terminator commentary. Jay Bauman's like, oh yeah, at the end they had to add this credit where it showed that James Cameron ripped off a sci-fi writer, the Outer Limits episode. Look, you're just going with the accusation. He then clearly says, I never saw the episodes. Well, I did, and only the opening scene of one of them looked anything like the Terminator. Oh, but the studio just wanted to go ahead and settle that. Because you know what? You get a litigious ass willing to sue anybody, and that's what you get. Yeah, Jay Bauman is the worst kind of hack. Just a total sympathizer for schlock. Shitting on everything. Oh, James Cameron's movies never look good. Look how amazing this looks. Insufferable douchebag makes it a chore to watch Red Letter Media. Something kind of unique to James Cameron movies is like the guns always have a unique sound, and the weapons, right? You got the pulse rifle in Aliens. You got the phase plasma rifle in the 45 watt range, or is it 40 watt range? I should know better. Stuff sounds good. I would think that the circumstance for the invention of these weapons, it's almost like the humans got them off Skynet. So if it wasn't for Skynet, they wouldn't be able to have the weapons to be able to help defeat them. Awesome miniatures over here. Full body Terminator. You can't tell a lot of this stuff is miniature. It's done so well. And you're not surprised by any effects in today's movies because you can always write it off as CGI. We just parked it in a giant blue or green globe. Everybody sat down with air conditioning and we just decided to make the movie there. This looks like a war zone. I do gotta wonder, how do the humans have uniforms? given the circumstance. This kind of seems like you'd be fighting in your street clothes. Now we got the Wall of Fire, courtesy of a Vietnam-era flamethrower. The lost art of the title sequence, guys. Oh, it's so cool now to just have the titles at the end. I'm trying to think who started that trend. Was it maybe Batman Begins, or rather The Dark Knight, and then everybody tried to jump on board with that. Then all these Marvel films. Let's have an elaborate closing credit scene and make people sit through it for 15 minutes so they can see the little cookie at the end. You have the playground the kids were playing on at the start. Danny Cooksey, Budnick from Salute Your Shorts, one of the best kid actors going. Introducing Edward Furlong. How would you like to start your movie career in Terminator 2? Now, you can't live up to that, can you? I guess Edward Furlong had quite the downtrend, but I don't think anybody had the downtrend of C. Thomas Howell. Like, you start at E.T., and then it's like a gradual dip down to nothing. Dennis Muren, one of the greatest CVs in all of IMDb. You gotta check out Stan Winston's Creature Shop. Well, it's not Stan Winston. The only guy with a creature shop is Jim Henson, but there's far more practical effects in this movie than I think people realize. People think that this, in conjunction with Jurassic Park, ushered in the CGI. I think you could probably make a more clear case for Jurassic Park doing so. Though, it's nice that Terminator 2 gets credit. We've had characters portrayed by CGI in films before. 1985, Young Sherlock Holmes. I think Dennis Muren worked on that. The Abyss, very similar. The pseudopod scene, as they call it. The T-1000 looks good, as it's not a textured render trying to look like something we have. That's why when you want to use CGI in a film, you make something people don't see. We don't have a T-Rex. Your CGI T-Rex will look like what we think a T-Rex should look like. You CGI a helicopter. We've seen helicopters. That doesn't look like a helicopter. You get me? The arrival of the T-800, portrayed by Arnold Schwarzenegger. There isn't a lot of consistency throughout the franchise about the time displacement equipment and how it looks when someone comes back. Like, you see this kind of cutout. You didn't get that Pokemon ball at the bottom cut into the ground in the first movie. The return of the Terminator vision. So many things from this film throughout the 90s were referencing things. Some character shows up in a sitcom, has Terminator vision. Hasta la vista anything. Hasta la vista kitty. Hasta la vista baby. Well, there was no Hasta la vista before this. Look at that septum piercing before it was cool. I like the reactions here. You got like the waitress that comes around the corner. This scene was last recreated for a WWE, I think 2016, as they called it, wrestling game that included the Terminator as a wrestler in the bid to include all the nostalgia in your fighting game. They even ended up adding Arnold Schwarzenegger to Mortal Kombat. Well, not Arnold Schwarzenegger, but the Terminator not sounding like Arnold. You forgot to say, please. Gotta admit, his clothes look a lot better on Arnold. I've seen this guy in Near Dark. A film from Christ, one of Jim Cameron's wives, Catherine Bigelow. You notice they come in there and you got guitars, Cadillacs. You can see the piping of the steam there. Instead of the steam being actually from contact on his body, it's got a lead in there. But things you wouldn't necessarily pick up first viewing. You got the country music playing, right? As you go into the bar. And then the song just kind of cuts as we go into the fight. When I look back at a good movie from the past, I think about how it would have been screwed up today. And it would have been, let's kick in the music. The music would have swamped the scene entirely and turned the action into a joke. Now, post-action, yeah, let's bad to the bone, okay? George Thorogood, let's do that. Try to have our funny bit when it's not at the detriment of the action. Now in widescreen, you can see this guy in pain on top of the hood of that car, right, as we pan right. I grew up watching so much of this movie 4x3, could not see that guy, so it was like a revelation seeing him. And 4x3, it's actually a different movie because you have so much more vertical to see, and at times you do want that. It would be interesting to get like an open matte version of Terminator 2. This version is essentially a Blu-ray. It is not the most recent theatrical 3D re-release. I think it happened like, 26th or 27th anniversary of the film about. That had a little bit of touches to fix effects. And I haven't actually seen that version. The signature peel out of the motorcycle. Look, if you're going to get on a bike and go, you got to make it look cool. And that's about the coolest way you can leave a scene on a bike. That 3D version of Terminator 2 has stunt double actor CGI face replacement. I don't think that the stunt doubles look that bad in this movie, to be honest with you. The guy who's doing the bike for Arnold, in more scenes than I think you realize. Look at the way cops used to dress. It's slightly more friendly. A little less we're going to war. I know that the marketing kind of fudged this, but if you could preserve the reveal of who's the good Terminator, who's the bad one. Remember, Sarah Connor says they send a protector to save him, right? Dude, we got a mag light. That is an early mag light right there on that cop. Mag light was the flashlight of the 90s. And they were awful. You put like 3 D-cell batteries in there. We got this rock there to try to hide a little too much Jason Patrick. Now, hold on. It's Jason Patrick. Ah, shit. Do I need to look this up? Because I don't think that. Robert Patrick. I didn't look it up. I thought about looking it up. Got mixed up with the Speed 2. Robert Patrick's basically an unknown, cast as the slender, more slender, sleek Terminator, the T-1000 here. I think he does an incredible job. You would think, oh, it's going to be hard to beat Arnold in Terminator. I would put the T-1000 above the T-800 from Terminator 1 in a villain hierarchy. In fact, when it comes to can this character beat up this character, somebody that's always in the discussion has to be the T-1000. It's somewhat miraculous they even fall into a situation where they're able to defeat it. Xander Berkeley. You've seen him on The Walking Dead, where he was an asshat. character actor. We've also got Vasquez from Aliens, which I have to wonder, is that movie going to get canceled for, what? Bean facing? What do we call it when someone pretends to be Latina? She's not my mother, Todd. Man, I thought John Connor was so cool in this. They give him the attitude. He goes across the grass, right? He's hanging out with Budnick. A little bit of a problem child. He's got the bike, or more on the music in a sec. Let's look in on Sarah Connor, heroine of the first film. Took me the longest time to realize that she didn't have a pull-up bar in her room. It's her bed turned on the side. Of course, Dr. Silverman, Maine, right? He narrowly survived the onslaught at the police station by just walking out as the Terminator was coming in. So, we have some faces from the original film, and I would take the theatrical release of this over the special edition. Not to knock the special edition too much, but there is a scene where they try to dismantle Arnold's chip, and I think it kind of exposed Linda Hamilton's acting a little. She didn't seem great in that scene. You also had bits about trying to incorporate more dream sequences to this to give more... To kind of give more credit to the dream sequence later, but it kind of steps on it too, because you show the bomb going off and then you come back and do that scene again. It's better presentation here. I don't think we needed to see her get roughed up so much. We knew it. See that she takes her pills there, because I don't like seeing the patients turn the bed into a pull-up bar. The old days of lights on top of the police car. T-1000 has much more human level of interaction about him. Prototype. Sent back as a last-ditch effort, right? The scene comes across as so sincere compared to the bullshit that happens throughout any movie now, where we can only give exposition while running. Probably through a damn hallway of a spaceship. Big guy on a bike came by. Kind of would have liked to see that interaction. Is John Connor here? Where does he go? The Galleria? Insert your stolen car now. Let's get that Atari product placement. I wonder if any of this would actually work. I don't really care if it works or not, because it's giving us John Connor doing something most kids can't do. And in a way, shows that these little things add up to him becoming the salvation of mankind, that he gets to be the great leader. Why is he only a colonel? I don't know. It looked like he was a 4-star general by the all those stars on his shoulder at the start, right? Is your mom? I might be wrong, but I think that's not the same picture from the original Terminator, that they had to recreate it. Man, I would have liked to have seen more Danny Cooksey in this. He was so good. Playing You Will Be Mine, a song from Guns N' Roses that was made for this movie. When they would make songs for a movie rather than, hey, what's a song that Quentin Tarantino used? We can use that, and then people will compare our movie to Quentin Tarantino. In 1991, this releases early July. I think they would have been more on the forefront if they could have gotten Nirvana in here and gotten in the grunge thing. But I can totally understand why you'd recruit to the big band at the time you're making this, right? I mean, it's kind of a toss-up. It would have been really... I mean, yeah, I guess you could have Smashing Pumpkins too, but I mean, you'd have to really have some foresight. This scene is amazing. It's so hard to eat the popcorn. I'm playing with the popcorn, watching the movie, and just running my mouth here. This scene is so incredible. We're watching VHS tape of a past session with Dr. Silverman. Gosh, shit. Used to be able to say it. Linda Hamilton acts the shit out of this. Should have been nominated and probably even won Best Actress in a Leading Role. I don't see what the hell Jodie Foster did that was so amazing in The Silence of the Lambs. And yes, there's a "the" in the title of that movie. We're watching her react to her own performance, slaying it on both sides. And then we also have a video camera recording this. And hell, we got her reflection in there over the. It's so damn brilliant. Her reflection is in there over the back of the doctor, and I just hit my mic. Sorry. It's hard to contain myself. This is the movie that makes movies good. Yeah, we chill. We let the patients have cigarettes. It's 1991. Everybody wears white. It seems like really not all that much time has passed since she stabbed him in the knee. And then she's going to get privileges. But it's clear that she's working him. Linda Hamilton, by leaps and bounds, this is her best role. It's not even up to debate. And I think, particularly in this film, such a transformation from the shy waitress we saw in the original movie. I'd seen Terminator 2 first, then the Terminator. And I remember the day my parents went to go see the Terminator. We went to this aquarium in Oklahoma City. And we're looking around the fishes. Mom and Dad are like, oh, so tonight we're going to see Terminator 2. We're leaving you at Grandma and Grandma. So why can't I go? Well, you can't go because your brother can't see it. I had a younger brother. Scarred me for life not getting to see Terminator 2 in theaters. Years later, about 10 years ago actually, I saw Terminator 2 at a theater in Wichita, but it was kind of cut up. I called it the Kansas edition. The Gatling gun play, kind of like the footage got lost. It still, at parts looked really good, but there was some parts where they tried to cobble it together through various reels. Oh man, it kind of messed up. That wasn't me crying, I just kind of choked a little there. You can see in passing a model of the chip, but I think we actually needed to see more of that and understand that that's what it is. Because we have this symbolism thing with Miles Dyson. He has the chip model in his hand. He puts on the detonator at the end of the movie, but we don't know what the hell he's holding. We really don't get a good shot of it. Pepsi product placement here. Here we're going to have some dialogue repurposed from Aliens. You know, I haven't been here that long, but you could tell me something. You know what? I asked them the same thing. Where it came from, right? I asked them once, you know what they said to me? Don't ask. Repurposed from Aliens. Cut footage included in the special edition of Aliens, of which I think you can make a more clear case that the special edition is superior, giving Ellen Ripley a lost child so that she can then essentially adopt Newt, and also seeing the conflict on the ground in the colony. I feel like there is a need to see the colony and some of the colonists and how they encountered the alien, or rather the facehugger egg, rather than just say, hey, we lost contact with them. Everything in this movie is cool. There is an awesome blue hue used in so many James Cameron films, particularly at night, that people many have tried and failed to duplicate. I think the cinematographer of this, I talked about a 1985 Once Bitten Jim Carrey movie that was bad. It had the same DP as this. He also did Iron Eagle, but otherwise, I think other than Terminator 2, really didn't have a lot of noteworthy stuff. Look, yeah, let me see my son. He's naked without me. He's in danger. Not for a while, huh? How long's a while? Recommend to the review board. You stay here another 6 months. Oh no. Do these mental hospitals like this still exist, or is this why we have all the crazy people roaming the streets in Los Angeles? All these people not wearing 2 million sunblock gonna have a bad day, right? Model citizens. Oh yeah, we got a little shortcut to the Galleria. Look how stoic John Connor is on the bike. Like, yeah, we do this all the time. That's the kind of face you need to be making when, hey, just taking care of business with my boy. I love the way Arnold sees him. Gets to turn around here, right? And the collateral damage by association, just the car spinning out and hitting each other. Just little things show the impact he's having on time. Tiffany, Tiffany Cox, right? Little girl right here. I think he says he's going to the Galleria. She was in Michael Jackson's CG, the thing Moonwalker, right? And also became like a babe after this. It would have made kind of sense for her to be in the movie Terminator 3 and been the girl. Hey, we hung out and then you disappeared. So they got Claire Danes. Guns and Roses. We were thinking, how can we implement that in the movie? John Connor is playing Missile Command. Of course he is, right? So that's the game, the classic arcade game John Connor would be playing. He also jumps in Afterburner. Get some quarters. I'll be back. Is this Afterburner or Afterburner 2? This is the mall that, yeah, it's first ever. This is the mall of, like, the 80s movies. Commando has his fight out there. The kids hang out in it. Fast Times, Ridgemont High. Let's move. Just shoving everybody. I don't think that means they died. They just got shoved. How does John know that's a Terminator? This is the time that the cops can't come and get me? I know for sure. About to get ourselves some more Pepsi product placement. I'm drinking Kool-Aid, by the way. Jim Cameron mentions in his talking on the movie that you want to have the slow motion before the action. It ramps up, and then you have the action at full speed. For the most part, that's how his films operate. I've seen a little bit of slow motion action shots in Avatar. They seemed a little more derivative of trying to be the cool Matrix type thing when that happens. Clinical reloading by Robert Patrick. You can buy some of the, like, splash damage And by the way, that's not CGI. I think people think that's CGI on him, the gunshots, but it's an application. Now it's CGI. You can see they kind of added some smoke over there in post also, and it looked a little off. That smoke essentially wasn't rising up. It was rising up for us, but not from the surface that he was on. You got to wonder the extent of, I don't want to waste time fighting him because I'm after John. There's not a lot of opportunities in this movie where the T-1000 could have killed John but chose not to. William Wisher right there. He was the cop that gets knocked out and his car taken by Arnold in the first Terminator, co-writer of the movie. And here he just has a camera and is freaked out by a guy getting thrown out of a window, which not something I see every day. I mean, I realize crazy shit happens now. You would probably have your phone out and be recording that for TikTok. Everything in this movie is iconic. We got the iconic run. I like that his run does not look particularly human. John's pretty sure this guy's a Terminator now. Cab over big rig. Now this stunt driver here, new to the scene, does not take the fall right, does not tuck his head and clunk. You fall out of a car, you got to do a roll. You have to tuck your chin in to your chest. Absolutely. And hold the hell out of that. Well, look, we're driving on a real road and cars are actually crashing into each other. What a novel thought. We don't have to question, is this CGI? Look at it, just like the warm tones here and everything. I know that they stunt guy on John there, but you'll see a stunt Arnold kind of in an inconspicuous scene also coming up. And it's a bit of a wider shot, so you can't tell immediately, and you probably hadn't noticed before. But then, of course, there are times the jump, picking up John, things. Oh, the behind-the-scenes shot of this is so cool, how it goes over. The window cracks and falls out, but then the window's there. And that has been remedied in the latest version of the film, in which with CGI, the windshield does not come out of the cab. Oh, maybe we already saw the scene with Arnold as not the driver. I think, yeah, I may have just been talking over it. I think it was before he approached here. And because, of course, the jump is coming. Look how thrilling this is, and it doesn't involve every planet in the solar system getting exploded. You know, now that we have superheroes taking on the fate of the galaxy and the universe, it's kind of like, where do we go from there? We've ratcheted up to it. No, here's the shot I'm talking about. That was not Arnold. Everybody wanted to cock a shotgun like this with the flip. It's just the coolest shit ever. Oh, yes. Had to specially modify this so you could do that. And Jesus Christ, that is awesome. Just everything is so cool in this film. In the special edition, they have a little extra dialogue between Arnold and John Connor, and John Connor's like, the other kids were into Nintendo. And if I would have heard John Connor say that, first of all, it probably would have not helped Nintendo sales of the game, which I got for Christmas that year. But if I would have heard him say that, I'd probably been like, well, if John Connor didn't like Nintendo, I guess I'm not playing games either. It would change the course of history. Stunt double on Arnold there looks pretty good, and that's also the first CGI wire shot, I think, in all of film history. They got the wire suspending the motorcycle, but you can't see that shit. You can't identify the wires. There was not Arnold sneaking by. Then we have actual Arnold and Edward Furlong with the rear projection shot, but it looks close enough, right? And I like how this plays out. This crash goes up, collision, like almost like a pendulum swinging to ignite, huge explosion, plays out melodic. It's like a song. And then we're even going to bring out the tire. Hold on, it's just a tire. Puts away the gun, narrowly misses Edward Furlong, has been conking him on the head all day during that shot. Another sweet peel out. Now the big reveal of the T-1000. What kind of damage did he take? Doesn't matter. He's seemingly impervious to damage. You can pull off effects like this when it's not texture-based, it's just reflections. So you get the model, and then you just go for the reflections, and it largely works out. So many Honda Civics and Accords in this movie. The 90s Toyotas and things. I feel like I'm seeing a Honda Accord everywhere. Now check out the sweet golden hours tones here. Just casually checking in on my gun while we give it a little talk. A lot of kid actors are subpar, not believable. Edward Furlong, just some kid they saw at a mall and said, hey, he'd be good for this. Now, I got to wonder how that conversation comes in. Hey, kid, you want to be in movies? Your parents here? I want to talk to your parents. Do this above the board. You're really real. Get a grip, John. Figured out the part they didn't want to kill you, huh? Figured out all on your own. "35 years from now, this is supposed to take place in 1997. Or is it... I've heard 1995. 1995. It's... seems a little ambiguous. Is he supposed to be 10? What year is he born exactly? Surely he's older than 10, right? Like, didn't we have an age shown? I think it's 35 years from now, but yeah, that doesn't... Hold on. So is this 94? 29. I think a lot of people have been saying 95 because I think he says 2 years from now in August something 97, right? Judgment Day. This scene, I've talked about this being amazing in another video. Got a quarter? Well, do now. Gotta warn his foster parents. This is so incredibly brilliant. The audience doesn't know the T-1000 is posing as Janelle. She's never this nice. Something's wrong. The dog's having a fit. Is this supposed to be the same dog from the end of the Terminator that's in the Jeep with Sarah Connor? I think that's supposed to be the case. What's the dog's name? Max. Hey, what's wrong with Wolfie? Purposely calls the dog by the wrong name to see if the T-1000 goes along with it. Your foster parents are dead. This is so smarter than anything I've seen in a movie in 10 years. This scene's awesome. Look how incredible this looks. And that's not CGI. That's a practical effect. Now we're going to get the CGI here with the transformation. Yeah, pretty seamless. More transformation here. The morphing in this is quite strong. There is extended stuff going on over here where let's see. I think it's only in the special edition do they go out and kill the dog and take the collar off, showing that the T-1000 knows that John, or that the T-1000 knows the jig is up and that John's not coming home. These are not original shots from the 84 film, but a recreation. I don't drink a lot of coffee, but I've never seen this play a hand of cards with your coffee cup anywhere else. There's a Subway ad at the beginning of the VHS of this film, and we're eating Subway here. We got working in the product placement, guys. Most expensive movie ever made at the time. First movie to have a budget over $100 million. Theoretically, Arnold Schwarzenegger will headline the most expensive movie ever greenlit 3 times over his career. Total Recall. Oh, well, hold on. No, wait. I think it might be 4. I think Total Recall may have been it also. Certainly Terminator 2 and True Lies, and then approved budget $170 million plus Terminator 3, which had a higher approved budget than Titanic. There, we got Subway right there, huh? Not super obnoxious product placement. See, she gets a little manhandled. Gonna sit down and have a little talk in the blue. Spent his childhood hanging out with tough asses. Shack up with anybody that can teach him something. And it all comes down to this. Man, look how cool the lighting is in this. Every scene is a painting. Just sounds like a shitty Instagram channel. Even these like little slower catch up with the character and the situation, digest this. I just can't get enough of it. That's great. What happens to her? Typically, the subject being copied is terminated, which doesn't mean every time, and that comes into play late. Hard to tell that was an F-bomb from John Connor. Now, for a time, these two guys, they just came out of like a... I think we saw them roll into the convenience store. They overhear this. They look out of place. They're the most tell of 1991 in the movie. We got the high top fade and the kind of mullet thing going. Otherwise, so much of this is rather timeless. Arnold's biker look doesn't look specific to a time. We see some grunge inflections in John Connor's wardrobe. A lot of people are kind of in some uniform. Of course, the police uniform friendlier than today. No body camera. Hey, man, let's get out of here, man. This guy, I don't know who he is, but he looks like he wanted to be a wrestler. grab this guy. Oh, things are about to escalate, and here comes the gun. Whoa, hold on. I didn't say shoot him. Lays the gun on the ground. Of course, I'm a Terminator. There are complaints of this movie. You can't like anybody who dislikes this movie. It covers so many bases. I don't think you have a clear case to say this movie is unnecessary. It doesn't tell the same story as the first movie. It adds a lot to the mythos and in an interesting, compelling way that we get to see the leader. We get to learn that Reese and Sarah Connor, they don't really prevent things. Instead, they help set things up. There's a bit of a wishy-washiness over how the time travel mechanics work in this movie, particularly the series going forward past this. I kind of see us as they went back in time and they've altered it. They got the tangent, just like Back to the Future. I don't really think there's too much to think there, and people finding faults in it are overthinking it. There's no fate but what we make for ourselves. That all works. Then you get to Terminator 3, and that's thrown out the window. You just retroactively undo how things work. That didn't sit well with me. This guy, I think this is Dougie. She's really out, huh? How out is she? The lick on the face makes you think this is not the first time he has gotten personal with the patients, and it is really cringy, creepy stuff. I'm surprised my popcorn has lasted this long. I guess that's what happens if you talk the whole time. He gets some coming up. You had to really fake being knocked out to not get bothered by that. Linda Hamilton actually picks this lock with a paperclip. How cool is that? Oh, T-1000's here. I wonder if they had to find this checkerboard tile in a location to be like, we really want him rising out of a checkered floor. Or he's checkered because that's the floor that was there. When you have the money of a considerably large release film, things don't happen by accident. It's, in all likelihood, art direction determined checkered board floor. Seemingly disappears. Where'd he go? All right, some of your buddies are here now. Check out the mullet on this lady. You ever seen a chick with a mullet like that? Then you get this gal also that is a ringer for Laurie Metcalf, but isn't Laurie Metcalf. Also doing the sort of orderly mullet thing. This guy is one of a set of twins, and therefore they're able to use his twin brother to duplicate him. Sort of, less effects intense way to go about that. And you can't really take much issue with it either. Being a twin, though, also fortunate for Linda Hamilton. She has an identical twin sister, and they're able to do a scene together in this where T-1000 duplicates her, and they had a longer scene where they were sort of a mirror reflection played by her sister. That's in special edition, cut. Kind of okay with it getting cut, honestly. CGI out of the floor. Man, that looks so cool. You know, you see the CGI work in this and in so many movies after. You're just like, how come it can't look as good as Terminator 2? People say the argument, oh, it holds up. I don't think holds up is really the choice phrase. I ain't got a full house. Must be my lucky day. This weird, sinister alien look on his brother. This is really good. Now that's acting, but there are puppet work in there. Now I know a guy, Alec Gillis, Amalgamated Design. He worked on some of the stuff in this film. I've asked him about how it is that the character creations, the models, the humans, they look so realistic today, even though you give them so much props for in the past. There are Arnold mannequins. There's a Robert Patrick gets slightly blown up, has like the big donut hole in the eye, right? I don't think that looks verbatim, legit, fair dinkum, but he has some stuff that is so incredible that people don't even know. General Zod in Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, not the actor. That is a mannequin, a puppet, this guy gets... The story is, this is real licks on the face and real blood from this guy. That he had to hit Sarah Connor in the knees and was not doing a good job of it. And she got revenge, but we don't see her getting hit in the knees in this version. We only get that in the special edition. But hell, we got enough creepiness out of him, right? With the face lick. Music in this is so cool. Brad Fiddel's score. It's unconventional, but cool, slick, and serious, and it fits the tone so well. Everybody has a theme. The T-1000's theme mentions of having some roar in it. Yep, we just whip away, replace him with Robert Patrick, save on effects. You know, you've seen him transform, so you don't need to see it again. I'll allow it. But what I was saying about Alec Gillis and how things look more realistic now. General Zod, Deadpool in Wolverine X-Men Origins. There's a scene where Deadpool's being operated on. That's not any actor. That's not Ryan Reynolds. It's a makeup, a prop. I mean, I would say puppet, but I don't know. In that one, I think there's some moving parts, but he just said that it's really just practice. Practice has allowed everybody to make these bang-on realistic-looking humans. You also see incredibly realistic human heads, cadavers in Bad Boys 2. Unfortunately, executives just say go CGI instead, and you end up with garbage. I swear I won't kill anybody. And here comes the gun anyways, but he'll live. Again, 1991, doctors fix this. I mean, Grant Hill didn't have the greatest career after injuries. Neither did Penny Hardaway. Now something they do to help you recover. The athletes with the money, right? They can get the stem cells that you basically inject new cells that are going to have the recovery speed of a small child into the older man's knee, so that that area recovers faster. It could probably lead to a quicker turnaround on surgeries for athletes. I think maybe you get shot in the knees. It might help you. I mean, to some extent. I'm not saying it repairs the body instantly, but just the recovery time. All right, not Laurie Metcalf has let her through. I like this concept of you grabbed what you could. They have syringes, right? And there was some bleach. Now, realistically, I think you probably could have just used anything. You don't need to inject anything. You can just inject air, and that'll do the same. This is intense. You try to do this shit in a movie now. You swamp it with cartoonish music that no one tried with. You don't bother making a score. They can't be bothered to get an orchestra together. They just source in some hip-hop and EDM. How did she break her arm? Possibly Sarah Connor's last outburst? Go to the sirens. Barefoot run in the halls. Yes. Let's go. She knows the place. This breaking the key off so that they can't chase you. Does that work? Is that doable? Can a woman do that? Seems pretty badass. We're going to get some slow motion here as she is reintroduced to the Terminator. Oh, this looks so damn cool. You can't take action seriously in movies anymore. I posed a question recently. After Kill Bill films, have we had a sincere action movie? Because it often doesn't feel like it. It feels like action is done as a joke. You fools, it's him. Oh, they're going to give her the shot. Hurry. I like this fight scene. I know it's pretty simple and it's got a lot of sugar glass, but I think it's awesome. Oh no, you ruined the sunglasses. Shove. Not too much violence against women, right? Hell, we didn't get to see the foster mom killed, right? Look, even if you want your films to have some kind of feminist edge, look at the transition in Sarah Connor's character and how strong and tough she is. Linda Hamilton's the first female actress to transform her body for a major role. Doesn't get an Oscar nomination. Look how cool this looks. Goes through and the gun gets stuck because the gun is not, And we get a little bit of a joke out of there, but it's not at the expense of the Terminators. Dr. Silverman is like, now I'm a believer. Even returns for T3. Earl Bone, right? Bowen? Okay. Well, yeah. Now look, people think, all right, that's CGI as it goes. But this face split is practical effect. People think that's CGI. I think it looks pretty damn good. That's probably the best use of that in the film. I just kind of have some problems with the skin, the way the skin looks in the big donut hole one. Linda Hamilton gets her eardrum blown out because she doesn't put in both of her. As they're firing here, they have what ear protection. She took off to go to the bathroom or lunch or something. Forgot to put that back in. Now you have permanent ear damage. This guy just such a goofy look on him. I kind of like it. Oh, okay. I've got my hands up. You gotta dispose of the guy before he talks, because you don't want to make him a featured extra and have to pay SAG. Transformation and run. Man, that looks bang on. That transformation shot. As I was saying, these shrapnel application pieces, you can find these on sale. People have these from the film, and they're not crazy expensive for screen use props. I think there's much more justification in a screen used prop from a movie than there is a baseball card that Ken Griffey Jr. never touched, and yet you want to get $1,000 for it. Seems kind of hard to justify. This car, especially made to drive backwards, the body repurposed. You can see the head in the back there. They might have edited that out in the latest release of the film. I don't really see the reason why you would need the car to be designed to be driven backwards when the shots could have just been, we could just go in reverse. You know, cars have reverse, right? Another scene that is often imitated, just so much of this movie is parodied. We're climbing aboard. I don't feel like the T-1000 is missing his opportunity. He's going for it. Too cool for school, firing backwards. I can see a Terminator capable of doing that. This is indoors with a screen. And we switch, but there's some of that is rear projected screen. It looks so good. Coming up, we'll see some wonky rear projection, which I think was done intentionally to mimic the look of Alfred Hitchcock films. I know some people have complained about it, but I think it was done in homage. I have thought, why not hold on to that? And you could maybe take them apart piece by piece, just kind of keep these in jars. But you don't know for sure what's going to happen. Maybe the thing could have quickly stuck John, right? So it's a good thing he tossed it away, right? Now, this does not look realistic at all. Got to catch up with Mom right here. It's a hug, but it's really... He thinks it's a hug, but it's really... She's just concerned about bullet holes. Brilliant. You can't risk yourself, even for me. But she warns him, and he keeps risking himself for her. And ultimately it works out, much to her chagrin, I guess. So this is what family interaction looks like, right? Learning about crying. Your eyes, this moisture dripping down. Say, that's a nice bike. I think we had a similar line in the Terminator Dark Fate. I say that as I question the name of that movie. There is a little bit of a harsh edit here where the Terminator just simply says learning computer. That he's he'll become like a better killer. Things like there's a line that's kind of 80 yard in. They had a longer, more drawn out sequence for it that I've alluded to much, and I don't think it was necessary. It didn't need to be in the movie. I like this. He's already in learning mode, and he's becoming more human as the movie goes. You don't need to switch him to it to end up with similar results. The motorcycle Arnold Schwarzenegger drove in this film came up in auction not long ago. Boy, for motorcycles to get, if you want a motorcycle famous for a movie, this or Steve McQueen's bike he does the jump in from The Great Escape. That's really the only two I can think of being the centerpiece collector bikes as movie bikes go. Not such a dork all the time. Here we go. There, we cut away from Arnold, and we see the more contact I have, the more I get human cool. It's not a perfect match, but I think it is a better solution. The movie's 2 hours, 17 minutes long with credits. You don't need to make it 2.5. Look at this transition. It's so awesome. Have you seen a better night to day transition in a movie? I will take that Terminator standing perfectly still on the lookout over hard cut to black, fade in. Which the first movie did have a cut to black moment for the transition to the next day. Are we learning yet? He's learning about where people keep keys. I have never kept spare keys in the visor. I'm not so sure if that was really the thing to do in 1991. People want to crap all over the LGN 2000 or Terminator 2, the game on NES, and I can understand that. Now, the Super Nintendo, I think, is a better game, okay? The jumping is weird. The characters are small as shit for a Super Nintendo, but you have missions in there in a 2D scroll, kind of platformer type style game in which you have to actually work covert. You have to do stealth. You have to try not to raise alarms. People don't realize that. You have an open world component where you can drive around Los Angeles, attract a cop's attention. Sure, there's a lot of wonky controls there, but there was some attention done to that scope that I think people need to reconsider. I'm not saying it's a great game. It's just better than people are willing to say because most people didn't get far enough to actually see it. I am finding where I burned some of my popcorn. Look at these kids with the toy guns. Oh my gosh. I know that in the 80s you could get realistic looking water guns, and then they put a stop to that shit. And I damn sure didn't have any guns that looked that realistic. Sees the kids fighting. It's in your nature to destroy yourselves. I'm not so sure these kids were really the symbol of mankind here. Of course they're going to show us that, look, they wanted to do it as a kid. Are kids allowed to play guns now? Probably not. You want to stop Siren? You want to talk to Miles Dyson. We have a scene in Special Edition. We cut over to Miles Dyson's house. See his son and daughter. The daughter in the theatrical release is never seen. It's, Danny, go to bed like your sister. Your sister's good, went to sleep. Boy, can she sleep, because they never have to explain anything to her about the house getting shot up or nothing. Arnold Schwarzenegger reading a sheet, reading his lines as they are plastered on the windshield. August 29th, 1997. Better have that 2 million sunblock. It's interesting that it's not the machines firing the nukes on the humans. It's you shoot Russia and you let Russia counterattack. Okay, Russia are humans. It's the Russian nukes that come down on America. That's what people don't understand. Not something that's really been explored. There was a lot of duplicating cyborgs, killing machines, Sim Factor Time, whatever. Whether it's not from back in time. Everybody wanted to be a damn cyborg come 80s and 90s because of the Terminator 2. But nobody was able to pull off Arnold Schwarzenegger's performance with this. I think Robert Patrick kind of going a different direction, not trying to be a robot in the speech, is actually a better call. It's like, look, if you don't know the name of a font or a specific color, pick something completely different. That way it doesn't look like you failed to match. And that's the way you kind of have to look at acting. You don't want to just duplicate Heath Ledger's Joker, right? You don't get Joaquin Phoenix duplicating that. Here we go. Uncle Enrique, Uncle Bob. Or actually, no, they just call him Enrique, right? Think I've seen this guy pop up in movies. Gotta make some contact south of the border, right? We just kind of hang out in this bus all day in case someone shows up for us to hide from. Uncle Bob. I have heard the name. I think actually on IMDb, he's credited as Uncle Bob or T-800 Uncle Bob, something like that. Curious, I haven't interacted with a small human before. Make the Terminator curious. It's a nice wrinkle. Like, it's odd that we have a character whose whole character is they have no character, and yet they have more character than X number of heroes in films these days. Yeah, this scene is much more truncated in the theatrical version. That's totally fine. You're just getting your weapons together. Drinking water in a carton. We got some serious shocks on our truck here. Or SUV. Well, this is at a time where everybody called an SUV a truck, essentially. Picking up the Gatling gun. I think this is the same one used in Predator. Gives a little smile. He's learning, right? A cutscene showed him trying to learn how to smile. James Cameron justified it being cut by saying you don't laugh at the Terminator. You don't make the Terminator the joke. And I think that was a good move. Now, the payoff there is he has an improved smile. But was it worth it? And no, it's not worth laughing at the Terminator. You have too many scenes laughing at the characters, you lose that tone in the movie, and then it becomes a farce. and then you can't take it seriously. So it is worth it to cut down on that stuff. You know what? This is a funnier movie than a lot of comedies because the humor is done for levity. Instead of telling you, hey, it's going to be a comedy and disappointing. Hey, you're going to watch your big action movie. Oh, also, there's a funny scene or two. John Connor's lines ADR throughout most of the movie as he goes through the puberty and his voice changes, but not this scene here. They have the younger voice for him here, gentle sounding John Connor, Edward Furlong. Unbelievable. I've still got popcorn. Can I make it through the movie with the popcorn? I have to slow my roll. Here we're going to introduce them to the high five. In how Ellen Ripley becomes the surrogate mother for Newt, this killing machine becomes the best father figure John Connor could ever ask for. Ow. Maybe we'll work on that. Too slow. I don't like being tricked. Look at those Matsuda shades on Sarah Connor. Recently back in production from Japan. These are not cheap sunglasses, guys. I think they look goofier in every circumstance except in particular the shots you see them in this movie. We're looking at $1,500 sunglasses, guys. Yeah, you can get those as of this recording. They're back. I've been getting a lot of advertisements for sunglasses on Instagram, and saw these just a couple days ago, and oh boy. Yeah, the Sarah Connor cosplay is going to be a tough one to pull off on a budget. Going to carve some themes here from the first movie. I think it's fitting. I think that you want to give the characters and the audience optimism that they can change the future by how they behave now, rather than it's inevitable, just do whatever you want. When you have that consequences built like that, it kind of makes your movie seem pointless. Interacting with the kid. Somebody get that kid on a podcast. Ask him, hey, so about Terminator 2. We're going to have our dream sequence. I like that we're not going too far into dream sequences. Usually hate these in a movie. But this dream sequence works kind of like Inception. In how Sarah Connor having the dream, seeing her twin sister over here playing with the kid, like this could have been her life, trying to warn them about the bomb going off, right? But this sparks a change in the character. She wants to now go after Miles Dyson. These characters go from, in the original movie, just trying to survive to they're just trying to survive the day. Now they're trying to change the direction of the future and stop Cyberdyne from developing Skynet. That's a big change. And I think more than what people could say, oh, it's just the same as the first movie again. Though a lot of people will usually point out Terminator 3, they're trying to do Terminator 2. 4, not so much. 5, we're trying to do Terminator 2 again. Oh man, this is horrific. lot of praise put on this for being a realistic depiction of atomic blast. Some of these car models I think could have been better. They're a little too flat underneath. Yeah, you can kind of see where things are a model, but I mean it's still impressive compared to we could just do it all with computer and it thoroughly look totally fake, right? Got some strong grip in those bones. Inception, you go into someone's mind and you enter their dream and change the way they're going to behave later, right? Make them change their business decision. Similar here, the dream sequence puts her in a state of mind to go after Dyson and stop Cyberdyne. They could be on the run from the T-1000 and just chill on the outskirts and kind of live like this. But now they're putting it in their hands. I also don't usually like it when there's a narrator in a film. It seems like an easy out to try to hammer in some kind of story that we had a hard time telling in a conventional sense. This film, kind of give it a pass. I think that you have the narrator, Sarah, setting up, hey, in case you didn't see the first movie. And then we elaborate upon that. We go into now we're on the highway at night. We're changing the future now. We drive up to Skynet. You end the movie with the road at night, the dark road, but the optimism that you can make a difference today. She's gonna blow him away. Of course, we have naysayers. The movie gets too slow in the middle. All the stuff people are saying could be justifiably slow in the middle is longer in the special edition, which is probably the version they were watching when they complained about that. And in addition, all the scenes are pretty good. Especially in the theatrical, there's not a lot of fat there. I think we did a lot of good here in developing the characters and getting you to care about them and their situation for what comes ahead. Instead of what we get in today's movies, where we feel like no matter what happens, the sequel can just undo it. We'll just retcon. They have a time machine now. Danny, you got to go to bed like your sister. This is a upmarket African-American family. Not a lot of ebonics talk. Computer. Really a good role model. And to think, a black guy could have been in charge of the project. We're getting woke points before the term even exists, really. So fortunate that his son was out playing at night when he shouldn't have been. Lighting the place up. Oh man, why am I not able to remember Miles Dyson's name right now? I know Esapatha Murkison, many a years on Law and Order, is the wife, and she is justifiably freaked. Now, Sarah wants to be the Terminator. She's doing this like the Terminator would. I'm going to walk up there, strut in, and that's the way I'm going to go about this. Oh, she can shoot. Don't hurt my daddy. But then she realizes that this isn't her. She kind of snaps out of it. You're blaming a guy for something he couldn't have known was coming. Oh, Christ. What? I mean, this guy is the robotics guy in everything, isn't he? Doesn't he work on Cyborg in the Justice League? No, I haven't seen it. I saw... He was in a clip in the Batman Superman, right? So... I don't want to look this up. That's what's pissing me off. Christ's sake. Getting out the phone, typing in Miles Dyson. I'm going to feel stupid for not knowing the name. Come on. Joe Morton. Christ. Yeah, that just makes me mad that I didn't know that off the top of my head. Terminator versed in first aid, because it would make him a better killing machine and know the anatomy. I almost hold me. Now we're going to get a real hug. Man, I got a popcorn kernel in my teeth. Oh boy, it's irritating. John Connor, the son, is playing the role of the parent here. I love you, John. I always have. Very similar, like poetry, it rhymes, right? I love you, Sarah. I always have from the first film. Deep penetration. Are you really going to be able to walk this off and pretend everything is okay for the remainder of the movie? For your life? Who are you people? You know, showing him is going to be the best way to do this quickly. However, how could they have known that the arm was the thing that he saw, that, you know, he's the project leader on the research team? Does Sarah Connor know that he has the chip in the arm to know that, hey, does this look familiar? You know, aside from that kind of like squared up pack on Arnold's chest there as they strapped him in with this fake arm, you know, try to pull his actual arm around the back. That aside, this looks way better than it would today. Because today it would have been a computer effect and looked like garbage. And that would have taken you out of the movie, made light of the scene, and lost the serious tone. Arnold is basically telling him things the audience already knows, so we are not being treated to it a second time. Just wrapping it up, giving the summary. Really, returning to Sarah Connor as the narrator at this point. Oh, look at how Edward Furlong's leaned in over here. I think Joe Morton did a great job in this movie. Should have got more recognition. Has what I would think is one of the best death sequences in films. I don't know how long I can hold this thing. The problem is you don't know what the hell it is he's holding. In the special edition, he breaks it in half with an axe. A fireman axe. And then you have an understanding of what it is he's holding. The symbolism of you holding the model of, but it's over the detonator. When you watch the movie, I was really for years under the impression that the detonator worked and that you had to touch this device to it. not just anything. I'll quit Cyberdyne tomorrow. Not good enough. No one must follow your work. Right, well, then, I'll destroy all the stuff in the lab. I wonder if there could have been... evidently the place is closed at night. You don't have a skeleton crew working on the stuff 24/7. I wonder if there could have been an easier way to go about this. If they could have done this low-key, just simply start a fire in various rooms, and would that have been enough? Or do you actually need to level the building and draw all the attention of the cops? Could they trust him to go do it alone? I mean, you didn't have anybody up there to stop him. You had security on the ground floor. He can get in. Here's our highway at night. Though I'm not so sure you'd call that a highway, as you have a stop sign. The future, she thought she knew, she is now changing. They're going into a different territory now. Now they're the ones calling the shots. I mean, it would have been less thrilling, but I guess you could have possibly just left Miles up there. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm going to check in on some stuff. Okay, sure. Burns the place down, sets the explosives, and walks out. You know, before the cops show up. But you need our heroes to do the stuff in the movie, right? These friends of yours don't look like computer people. You know, and keep in mind that in 1991, only nerds were into computers, could type, program, any of that. Now, the hottest girl you know has a smartphone, supercomputer, more powerful than anything at the time of this movie. They're on computers all the time. It's a ubiquitous thing now. Whereas a computer used to be for work, or for nerds to play games. This guy checking in over here, that is Edward Furlong's acting coach in the film. I hit the silent alarm and the police are coming. Imagine you didn't bring Sarah John, Uncle Bob with you. Miles could have done this by himself and avoided much conflict. They'd still have to deal with the T-1000 if they ever wanted to live normal. Nothing's going to open now. Yeah, because the alarm got hit. Well, they have presented a clear case to him, and he is all in. No chicken out. No, okay, I'm gonna call the cops at the first chance I get. These people are crazy. None of that. He is all in. This explosion is cool. Back in the days, we used real explosions in movies, and we don't anymore. Look at the way that it blows back. Yes, that's how you test your sound system. The Halon system. But Uncle Bob doesn't need to breathe. Dang, everything looks cool. Look at the way the light is going through this. Theatrical smoke, you don't see a ton of in use today. Too much of it labeled carcinogen. You end up with rather flat pictures anymore. You don't have like a misty depth in them. Look at how cool this looks. You can only really achieve this with smoke and layers for people to walk through. That cool blue, but the fire, he knows what's up here. Did John Connor, or rather, I don't think that anybody could have been tipped off. Is it possible that T-1000 simply was going to keep tabs on Miles Dyson in case John Connor would make a move to him? Like they thought, like, okay, if we can't find him, this is a person we need to locate. John may go to, so keep tabs. He ends up on the scene, but what's he doing elsewhere? What does he go and patrol the streets or direct traffic in the daytime? How does he blend in? We're bringing in a real helicopter for our movie. Oh, but Vaughn, you can't give him a lot of credit for blowing up a building that was going to be demoed anyways. It's not a skyscraper. It doesn't fall over in 3D with some kind of like 360 bullet time shot sweeping through the interior as everybody flies out of it. So it's not a real explosion. You know, that's kind of bullshit you'd see in something today. All right. We've done our hacking. I guess that device tests all the possible pin numbers to determine which one is going to work. Easy money. Easy money, the Edward Furlong story. Helicopter looks cool. There is a helicopter pilot. I don't think he necessarily is the guy playing the helicopter pilot, though I could be wrong there, but the helicopter stunt pilot they had here, he died, I think, a few years after this movie in a helicopter incident in which he was not the pilot. So if you are going to be the guy, you got to make sure you're the guy the whole way through. You don't want to be a race car driver in a car accident where you're not driving. Quickly told him how the detonator works. We're going to place that there. There must be some reason for this. We came back and showed it. Trust me, a little bit of a smile. Signature Gatling gun sequence. This was what was cut out of the Kansas edition of the film, as I called it. I have a feeling that desk didn't slide super easy. Because who would put, like, caster balls on a desk to shift around? Yeah, you put it on your chair. Oh, yeah. Going to town. How kick-ass is that? And, of course, the rate of fire on this gun is detuned to look more impressive instead of just a quick buzz. That is a gun that belongs on a helicopter, typically. And I think that they've kind of like put draped over Arnold where all the stuff is and the extra bullets and everything, and he didn't really walk out into the scene that way. See, it looks like he's just holding the gun, but when he is actually holding it, there's a lot of other stuff behind him, kind of in black. The sound effects from the bullet, or rather the grenade going in the chamber, I don't know at present, but I think this movie was either nominated or won the most Oscars of any film not nominated Best Picture. So I think it won 4 Oscars, but was not nominated Best Picture. Or maybe it was the case it had the most nominations without being nominated Best Picture. That may have since changed. I don't think anyone really cares about the Oscars anymore. The jig is up. The word is out. They finally found me. Renegade, right? We no longer trust the Academy to be purveyors of culture and dictate what is good or not. We're tired of that. And, you know, we never really should have believed them, but we see how things are managed now, don't we? How can we pander best? Okay, SWAT team leader is his name, he's a guy from Breaking Bad. I think his name's Dean. And he was in Total Recall, had the weird, it was one of the mutants. I'm going to look up the guy's name here. Dean Norris. I was about to say Dean Cameron, but I think wasn't that Ski School or something? Summer Break. What was it with the one where the Summer School? Yeah. Get the detonator, bring it over here. Joe Morton gets shot up well. Oh, something dramatic. SWAT's breaking in. No questions, no hostages. Just shoot whoever you see first. Yeah, Dean Norris was one of the mutants on Mars. I think he survived the movie. Might have got shot in Total Recall, but look at the fidgeting on Joe Morton. Just everything's good. Everything's so good. Kind of Die Hard like, right? The glass is going to get broken as we run through it. But I have shoes on. No more running in the hallway barefoot. It's the clean room. There's no way out of there. Man, John knows this place well, doesn't he? Just got here and he knows the layout. The way she spun around, I could kind of see that not being that necessary. A little pirouette there. Not a huge complaint, though. There's Dean Norris. That kind of made-up chemical there was used in Outland, Sean Connery movie. I think James Cameron kind of borrowed the name of that as sort of a wink towards a friend who made that film, which I watched, I was going to say not long ago, but probably a year ago at this point. And it had its moments. It kind of some groundbreaking for the cyber bar of the future there kind of look. Oh no, the detonator. Possibly the coolest movie death right there, man. That's a hell of a fireball, too. Not some bullshit done in post. More ominous T-1000 getting in on the scene, kind of breaking through the lights, going through the smoke. Looks cool as all hell. More reflection of fire in the mirror shades. I have to wonder how much of what the T-1000 is wearing is the magnetic poly alloy. The helmet, right? Because the helmet, he morphs out of that. Oh, we've got our I'll be back without it being a joke. There are shots coming in here where Arnold is a puppet, and I'm not going to say it's obvious, but I can tell. I would say it was obvious if I thought the layman could tell. That's Arnold. Not Arnold. Not Arnold. Arnold in the wider shot, the close-up's not Arnold. But as I've said here, they can now make this look so much more authentic. Maybe it's a combination of, just the practice, as Alec told me, but the technology to scan and do a better job, and people just becoming better sculptors. I've seen incredible artwork on Instagram. There are people putting out Instagram drawings, not paintings, that look like real ass life. I don't think I used to see that kind of thing before. So I think maybe some techniques have changed, possibly in model making also, to get these faces looking realistic. Arnold is sort of in his final stage, though he is dual armed here. Makeup. This is a makeup I think would take... It took a long time, like close to 10 hours or more in the makeup chair to get this. Hold this. Gas mask off. You got the tear mask now. The tear gas. We're learning payoff, guys. Setup and payoff. It's 1991. You keep your keys in the visor. Hey, why don't we just run an actual truck through the front of this building? Can't do that today. The truck really didn't line with this hallway correctly, but then it kind of does. Yeah, see? Love the music. I'm just probably going to jam out to the soundtrack after this. I am not kidding. It's like, it's weird because it's fitting with the theme and the revised original theme song, done up more orchestra, whereas the original was film much more synthesizer heavy. And I think the soundtrack to that, though I do jam out to it, does have an age to it, whereas I think this soundtrack is a little more timeless. Or rather, I should say score. It's not the soundtrack would be the songs, whereas this is the score I'm talking. See, this morphs. Man, that looks so cool. You got the reflection of the co-pilot, or is he the pilot? Or, I mean, there's two seats there. Do you take your chances jumping? Oh, let's see. He might have been 15 feet high. It looks like it could have been higher than that. Look at that, man. We've got a helicopter following that helicopter as it goes up. Goodness, you don't get shots like that now. Yes, I am aware there is a lot of discrepancy in the bullets in this scene. The bullet holes put in, they keep changing. Actually, I took a psychology class in college, and they showed a clip from this movie, and the professor thought he was going to pull a fast one on us about people being unreliable witnesses and stuff. He's like, let me show you something. Can anybody point out anything wrong with this scene? And I'm like, you picked on the wrong guy today, pal. Yeah, the T-1000 has 3 arms here. That's not always pointed out as a mistake. It could be intentional. Okay, look, we had 3 holes right there, right? There's 3 holes still. Is it possible the newest version of this corrects the holes? Yeah, see, the 3 holes lined up side by side are not there. We're going under the bridge, under the underpass. Incredible. Look at that, the 3 hands. You got the stunt pilot hand going while Robert Patrick's reloading. Robert Patrick says it's not a mistake. The T-1000 creates the tools he needs, and he needs 3 hands. And then look, we're gonna... Oh, we barely missed it. Oh my God, that is so cool. And you can see we're in an industrial area here. We could take the off-ramp and maybe find a big vat of magma. Or, sorry, it's lava if it's on the surface. But I know it's not. It's slag. But Oh no, Sarah's shot. Oh Jesus, that crash is awesome. Yeah, I I don't think there's any miniature there about that. That's just badass. Then we're gonna roll the truck. You got to feel kind of bad for the guy with the liquid nitrogen. I mean, look, the gardening guy, he gets to live, right? But he has to kind of jump over this. Depending on kind of how he does this jump, I think you're jumping off the overpass, and that'll probably kill you. I mean, this guy just wants to be the good Samaritan. Gets stabbed. I do like that stab. They put the prop in to poke out through the back. It's quick and efficient, and he's on his way. Ooh, wow! You guys look a little worse for wear. Similar themes here in the first film. We're going to have the semi truck chase. Kind of this elongated creature chase in the final act. And I hear that there are, I can't specifically hear, but there's said to be lion roars in the T-1000's theme. Look at that. Did him jumping across, was there an area there, or was that like a fall below? It was kind of dark, a little hard to spot. Vehicle's top speed is under 65. Wow. Get out and run faster than this then, John. Oh man, just even going in for the crunch there is so sweet. And that's the way you used to have to ride in trucks, man. 3 on a bench. Yeah, anything remotely dangerous in a movie now is not done. Fair dinkum, as the Aussies would say, legit. See if you can listen for the lion roar in here. It's sort of a trick one would do to subconsciously infuse the danger element in the character's theme here. Yes, I can see that there are some shots here with Arnold in the grenade launcher using the rear projection and not quite matching the scene 100, but staying authentic enough. And I don't feel upset when a stunt double is used, a stunt man or woman doing their job. I like seeing those people get work. They are a big part of what makes a film entertaining, and I think they should probably get more just due. And to be like, oh, well, it's not Arnold, it's a stuntman. At least it's somebody and not CGI. Because I'm seeing a lot of bullshit. Your Marvel films where it's, oh, our actor couldn't do any of this stuff, so we just made them CGI because they can't perform that kick. They can't jump. They can't get off the ground fast enough. They can't do a kip up, so we're going to have them CGI. You want to know what I'm talking about? Hell, look at Endgame when Black Widow's having her little fight with Hawkeye, and they just go CGI for the hell of it. Uh-oh, we got a kid driving. Oh shit, I have a problem right now. And oh, don't turn off automatically. Oh guys, I'm a little behind right there. I'm going to be a few seconds behind you guys because suddenly my Xbox that I'm watching this on wanted to turn off. It said this console will turn off in 5 hours, or it'll turn off in 5 minutes if you don't go to settings. I mean, I don't know what I could have done to really have stopped that. I guess I could have hit up on the D-pad at some point in the middle of this movie. Ah, shit. Anyway, I'm probably 10 seconds behind you guys. Being that I've seen this movie a ton, I could probably just talk in advance. So we have the awesome sequence here where the limbs are going to go out on the T-1000, and we're replacing Robert Patrick with an amputee stuntman to get the effect. Oh, I have seen documentation on how they do this, and I still don't really understand how they pulled this off. How they got the freezing in here so good. Yeah, okay, you break away, it's not Robert Patrick, right? I can understand that. You got the face coated up. But how did they get the legs to fall apart? Like, just incredible. Now, see, I was thinking, okay, we could pick him up and then toss him into the molten steel, but they decide not to do that. Instead, he's going to reform. Groaning from Sarah. How am I going to try to line that up to... I don't think I can do anything in post to try to get this back on track, sadly. Yeah, so he's going to form back up. We got the mercury out. We're playing with that. Just roll it along. Effective enough, right? Don't bother with that anymore. CGI nowadays, right? But he gets to form back up. And, okay, it bought you some time to do what exactly? Because you're kind of in the moment here where you want to take this thing out, not just simply run away. It's just super fortuitous that they ran into the one place where they are able to destroy him. Would an EMP fry his circuits? Like, is there a possibility of that? I don't look at the T-1000 as having a chip. I kind of see him like molecularly everything is a chip working in concert. In the special edition, we have machinations of him going in and out of... well, it is shown here. We see like a refresh. Like he kind of has a refresh look when scrolling up him. But here he walks around and he gets his hand on a guardrail and it gets kind of stuck to it. His feet turn into the steel grate, and it's really quite a good effect too. Maybe that could have been added, but you, as a viewer, you don't really understand it. Like, why is he duplicating that? Oh, well, maybe the freezing has messed him up. Maybe if you just stay around long enough, you torture him enough here, you can get to a scenario where he just breaks down eventually. I like the look on Arnold in this scene. We got the grenade launcher out, gonna pull the pistol. Oh yeah, looking cool. And they have a little fight where you're gonna get to see a man in full Reynolds wrap aluminum foil. And it's not bad. I mean, okay, he transforms, but that's pretty much what the liquid metal looks like. And it's done in a fight sequence where the camera's moving around and you really can't take any issue with it. That looks cool. And I'm saying that, but I'm probably off on your guys. Grabbing the fist, turning this around, and we got the tin foil. It looks decent enough to me. Oh no, Arnold's losing an arm. And we're really going to torture the Arnold puppet here, clanking his skull in. We got a refresh there. Man, I gotta wonder, is there really that much in a typical evening at this steel mill? Is there really that many sparks flying, or is that movie magic done up for effect? Can't get my arm out. Gotta take the arm off. What is it? James Franco style, right? Forgot the name of that movie. Was it 47 hours? It wasn't 48 hours. 26 hours. I think it might have been a little under a day. Or over a day. I didn't really understand this. He goes down, how do you know this works like that? And then there's also another thing, he ends up in this. It would seem incredibly dangerous for a human to be down there. Like, you're just rolling into wherever the steel's getting dumped out or pressed. It kind of brings to mind what happens with Newt in Aliens. She slips down into this little turbine and gets separated. Getting in some good shotgun shots here. Here's the donut face that looks not so great. I mean, I wouldn't mind having it in my house, but in actuality, all those sort of things decompose. That foam just becomes totally decrepit. You can't find a 1989 Batman costume. All of them have dissolved. Light and oxygen take their toll on latex. None of this stuff holds up well at all over time. It just deteriorates. So what Warner Brothers has done is they've further disintegrated, chopped up, made into a powder the Batman costumes from '89, and then redone them with some of the little pieces in there, in the mold. So hey, it's as close as we can get now. That lower hand on him is a prop, not CGI, but you can't see a lot of it right there. And then we bring this up to her eye, and it's getting kind of close. Oh man, that looks good. The bar coming out, you can kind of see the bar has a CGI animation about it in the middle there. Not something most people picked up on. Now you gave me this pole to beat you with, huh? Now that you're missing an arm, we're really going to go to town on you. Lots of crunching right here. And I do wonder how much this I-beam actually weighs here. Like, is it an authentic I-beam when it gets to crunching the mannequin? Because you got to get some impact in, right? You can't just be hitting him with foam. For the most part, I don't really mind Arnold's T-800 being mannequin when it's coming to take blows, because it is a machine, right? So shouldn't a machine look not human at times? Inauthentic? The exposed eye, it doesn't quite line up with how the eyes are depicted in the T-800 without the skin on. But boy, is it close enough for the purpose of showing the damage here, and hasn't actually been done better. When they try doing this with computer now, it doesn't actually come out as well. So the sacrifices Arnold Schwarzenegger makes for an insane amount of money to have to get in the makeup chair early in the morning to shoot for an hour or what, like, it's worth it. I'm still eating popcorn. When Arnold's eye comes back online, that's actually a huge eye, like a foot big. Like, they made a very big one so that they could go in close. It's not some kind of weird macro shot. They didn't move a camera up to his eye or any of that. They made a giant eye and insert that shot. So we'll be seeing that. Here, John is going to run into Linda Hamilton's sister. Oh, it's looking bad for Arnold. Oh, the eye's blinking, and there we go. The eye insert. Alternate power. We have a little backup plan. You're going to pull this rod out. Yep. Turned out the rod was a bad idea. I'll take the grenade launcher instead. Now, John was warned by his mom that she would not be looking for him to save her, right? So he should have known what... There is a shot where it kind of pans down and shows that it's not his mom, that in the special edition you look down and it's like there's all kinds of stuff around the base. The T-1000 is not able to duplicate as well as it could. That it was a fake and that the real one's over there behind. John doesn't fall for it in the theatrical version because his mom has already told him, you can't sacrifice yourself for me. So there was some payoff to that dialogue exchange. Oh yeah, we got a cool pumping of the shotgun here. We mimic that throughout the 90s as well. You just get so close and then you run out. But if you could have kept shooting, it would have knocked him in. Uh-oh. He's going to give the big mistake. No, nobody dunks into Kimbe's house. But here comes Arnold to the rescue with the slow-mo on the, kind of like Newt's little tram, right? Going up. Clearly had to switch to some different film stock and camera, it looks like, to try to pull off this slow-mo shot. A lot of confidence that this is going to knock him in. I mean, okay, definitely got him looking weird, but we've seen him repair himself through this. You're kind of fortunate he falls. By the way, that makeup effect right there looks pretty damn good. But as I've said, you can't come across... You may not even want to look up this stuff online because it will look decrepit and just... It will look like foam that has been left out in a forest over years. Morphing between all of the personas he's taken on. He, it, whichever. Then just kind of becoming like this cyber character. And I do like how... realistically, I guess he would go in and it would be over. But we're making a show of it, like this pudding. Enveloping and going all these different routes. And then to a total dissolve. Yeah. Nowadays, the sequel would have been, but he didn't really disappear. He just simply became dormant for a little bit. And then some other shit trigger. There's a prophecy. You know, all this garbage. Really, the only film franchise where the prophecy stuff works out is the Terminator, because they were able to look from the perspective of 2020, look back, 2020 vision. You know, you look back to the past and now you know the future, so you basically have the prophecy. It's baked in. Oh, things are going to get really sad, guys. Can't self-terminate. You got to do it for me. So we let Sarah Connor get in the killing blow once again. Obviously not actual molten steel here. Thinking they have a series of lights underneath a gelatinous goo to kind of, give the glow. In actuality, I think the molten steel looks quite a bit different because the surface exposed to air is not going to look even. There's one more chip and it must be destroyed also. Oh, it's so sad. You must lower me. Look at the blues and the reds here. Not a lot of movies from this time period look this good. Silence of the Lambs wins all the top Oscars, right? You got a screenplay, picture, director, actor, actress. Doesn't look nearly as good as this movie. Both of them, though, do have quite a lot of cultural relevance. There's a lot of people parodying Hannibal Lecter after that, right? Yeah, John's giving out the orders, but this is something he has to do. But, I know now why you cry, right? Oh my gosh, that's so sad. And since we go so long without a sequel, you feel like the story really does end here, giving the prospect of there really being stakes, more credence. Like, hey, it really did end. Sarah's kind of coming along and trusting the Terminator. She's having a little more faith in machines. And down we go. I wonder how the chains don't melt. Or I guess once you dip that in, it does. I mean, because it's not like it was in there and it's coming back up. So I guess so. Sarah really knows her way around these facilities too. Doesn't even have to look at the button. Hey, what button do I push? This one? No? Okay, there it goes. John Connor losing his father figure here. And you get a bit of a rock star Jesus vibe out of this. Like, here, it's my sacrifice for the sins of humanity, but I'm going to give a thumbs up. Oh yeah, the music, so good. They play this music at the Oscars still. Last time I looked, probably about 5 years ago. There was an Oscars, maybe it's 10 years ago at this point, ended just for no apparent reason with the Terminator 2 orchestra. The orchestra was playing Terminator 2 to cap the Oscars. And there's parts where, they have their medley of movie classic stuff, and they have like Arnold driving the truck, the SWAT truck in Terminator 2, and it swoops around, all the other movies come out of it, and all that kind of stuff, People who know. We're back on the highway. We got inspirational. It's not the Future Coda ending that they got in Japan theatrically, where it showed John, when his kid and Sarah Connor in not great makeup. Terminator, can you learn value human life? Maybe we can too. And that makes you want, subconsciously makes you not want there to be wars, to find peace. You don't want to have nuclear war, right? Yep, that's as good as it gets, guys. That's the best movie that will ever be made. Are you convinced? If you are, hit me up below. Subscribe, like, share, comment. I will respond to whatever comment is halfway decent and doesn't look like a bot. Oh, all right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed Terminator 2 Judgment Day. You know for damn sure I did.